Hey, what's happening, first class? How you feeling, brother? My dog. Mm. Yes, sir. Yeah, I couldn't miss y'all tonight, man. Even though I'm tired, to be honest with you. I am tired and low key didn't want to do it, but I got to because, it's about helping somebody tonight. If I can help somebody get a step further in their 2024 goals through Cloud Tech, it's all worth it, baby. It's all about showing up and being consistent. So I got a great subject for y'all tonight. We got a great topic tonight. Let me see if I can whip it up real quick. Oh, actually, let me see if I take that down. There we go. Yeah. We're going to get into a good one tonight. And I'm actually excited to get into this topic because I get this question quite frequently. I actually got this question tonight. This afternoon, this morning, but I responded this afternoon. Now I'll be busy, man. I can't respond to everything immediately. But I get this question quite often. And so I want to kind of settle it once and for all, and plus have a video reference point whenever I get this question. So we're going to talk about those who are still on the fence as far as what cloud platform they want to start building their cloud tech career out of, which one is best fit for them. And I'm going to go over some key differences between the three. And from that explanation, those who are still stuck on the fence, whether they want to do Azure, AWS, or GCP, they'll be well informed to know where to start and, most importantly, why to start in that area, that cloud provider. I give everybody a little bit of time to get in tonight. I'm not smoking the stogie tonight. I'm inside tonight. First off, it's a brick outside. It's cold as hell. All right. Listen, I ain't doing it tonight. It's like, 13, 15 degrees here in the city in Atlanta. So I'm inside today. Plus the wife made me stay inside to do this. She's like, don't go out tonight. So I was like, all right, you got a point. You know what I'm saying? When she make excellent points, when she right, I'm with you. So yeah, I'm in tonight. But we still drinking, baby. Still drinking. I got some hot chocolate actually. And I'm sipping some Bacardi. Bacardi Coquito cream. That's what I'm sipping on, man. What's up, everybody? Everybody chime in, leave your comments. I'm gonna make sure we live everywhere else. I need to touch on this subject. It is vital because I'm tired of answering it, to be honest with you. But people need to know. So I get it. Especially when you first starting off, you first get into cloud, first hear about cloud tech, first hear about cloud engineering, cloud security, hear about all these, dozen or so cloud roles that you can participate in, having no experience coming into the field. And you hear, about AWS, then you hear about Azure, then you hear about Google Cloud, then you hear that all three offer certifications, then you hear about all three offer really good, all three are lucrative. But you don't know what, when, and why to pursue, which you don't know which one to start in, which one is best for you. And most people, I get it. They want to start with the cloud provider that's going to pay them the most money. That's where they want to start building their loins in. I get it. But just because it's paying the most money doesn't mean it's the best start for you. So I'm going to start off with this preface. They all pay.
All right. They're all lucrative opportunities. All right. They all have the same beneficial gain across the board. There is no choosing the wrong cloud provider to start your career in. There's no such thing as that. All right. Because as the more you study the cloud, and I have had my Azure certification, I have my AWS certifications, and I failed my Google Cloud certifications twice. All right, but I've worked in Google Cloud solely for a year for a company. Um, Worked in all three deeply. Um, Fundamentally, all cloud providers are the same. So you're not going to learn anything too special and unique, especially when you're first starting off, getting into your cloud roles and getting into your first associate certification. You're not learning anything that's going to be too far extreme of a difference between the different cloud providers. They're all fundamentally the same. Virtual machines, EC2s, security groups. Um, I forgot what they're called in Azure, but they have security groups as well. I think it's NGs or something like that. But virtual private networks, they all offer storage, and it's blobs in Azure, it's buckets in AWS, and it's I forgot what the storage class is called in GCP, but they're all literally the same. What's happening, everybody? What's happening? Um, which one's the best to start at? Yeah, that's what we tackling tonight. What you sipping on? What you sipping on, Matt? Cordis. What's happening? You drinking that cognac? All right, that's what man. That's what I'm talking about. Mm. Okay, we drinking some cognac tonight. Now we sipping good. That's how you stay warm through this cold weather. You getting some good yak. You hear me? Um, for those who don't know, I'm sipping on some hot chocolate and coquito Bacardi. All right. Coquito Bacardi. All right. Um, I'm learning, just learning. Let me see. I'm just learning how to create S3 buckets and ECS containers. Good, 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 good. Containerization is big. Um, that's a big task. Dealing with elastic um, container services, basically containers, isn't an easy feat. Most people do not touch containers because it's difficult, quite difficult. First off, is they're dealing with YAML um, scripting files, YAML format. So, which is entirely, well, it's not too much different from JSON, similar to JSON. I always call them like cousins, but it's different. You have to deal with arrays and libraries and stuff. You have to know the format of a container. You have to know Docker. You have to get to know specs, the kind. You have to know clusters. So but once you start getting it, man, you can become a specialist in that area and get compensated really well because it's a specialist skill to really get really good at containers. So, but that's cool, first class. Stick to that. Let me know how that project goes. I hope, most importantly, y'all, I hope y'all are posting your projects to LinkedIn, man. I did the video, the Q&A with Mercedes H a couple weeks ago, and she talked about how she's gotten job opportunities and started jobs just from employers finding her projects online and reaching out to her about job opportunities, and have gotten increased of roles and responsibilities at work due to them finding out about her projects and wanting her to implement what she did in her projects at work, and considered a SME on top of that because she's the only one who's been doing that type of work and knows that type of specific technology, which was Splunk at the time, which was Terraform at the time, that most companies don't have the infrastructure to know about. But they just don't know about it. They don't have a team of specialists that are trained in that area. But she was, and even though she wasn't an expert, like the best of the best, she did enough projects where she can communicate what it is and how it can provide solutions in the technology stack and how to configure dashboards out of it. And then boom, you just grow from there. So I say I like to say, first class, make sure you're posting about your projects, no matter how big, how small, no matter where you're at in the project. If you're just starting it off, if you're stuck somewhere, you run into a roadblock somewhere, post. I tell it to my students every Q&A. Every week we do our Q&As, live Q&As. and I'm always preaching to them to post about their projects. It's going to be critical to building your network. All right, Prince, we'll be sipping on water. Man, y'all, you inside. It's cold outside. You sipping on water, man. Come on, man. What we doing, man? This is tech at night, baby. This is grown folks, baby. Sipping on water. Can you talk about issue case, real issues, cases for Azure Defender to Cloud and Azure Centennial? I know about both actually. Actually know more about Centennial. Centennial actually used to be a third party. Um, uh, used to be a third party software that basically um, it was a third party security tool that you install in your stack to be able to help with all your monitorization of what's happening inside your VMs, like a live streaming of each VM. So and tell you what software stopped running, what bugs are happening, what attacks are happening, blah blah blah. But no, I'm not going to no deep dive about Azure Defender. Say that for I do Q. I answer questions, literally cloud tech questions every day on Instagram. If you follow me at Cloud Tech Big Ump, Cloud Tech Big Ump on Instagram, I post in my stories every day. I'm answering cloud tech questions, so that's one of those questions. Um, I don't want to take up too much of the time on this important topic on something that's not related to this specific topic. Some guava juice. Okay, okay, fur baby. We getting there. We gonna get you to spice it up one day. You gonna put some. You gonna spike it up one day and get something in there. But guava juice is cool. We can go with that. We can rock with that. Currently doing my AWS practitioner course. Great job, Christian. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you, man. Um, we're looking forward to the rest of your journey, man. Looking forward to the rest. Keep us updated on how it's going. Just make sure you're also doing projects. All right, do your cloud practitioner course and projects. Trust me, the project's gonna help you make learning the course a lot easier. I'm gonna answer one more question, then I'm gonna get to the topic. Back to the topic at least. You on that ginger tea? I ain't too mad about that. I ain't too mad. Oh wow, can you hear me? My live feed went out. Yeah. I know y'all can't see me, but can you hear me? Because I can't see myself. Let me see. All right, cool. Let me see. Let me plug this thing back in. Let me see if I can get this back work. Hold on a second. Let me see. Mm, Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? I know you can hear me. You just can't see me. Okay. Let me see what's going on. My damn camera is tripping, yo. I can't believe it went out like that. That's wild. And it's like straight not working. Well, that's cool. All right. All right. Well, if you can hum, you can hear, as my grandma would say. You hear me? So there's no one way in picking a cloud provider. All right. You can choose any cloud provider. They're all worth it. Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud, they're all worth it. However, there are differences, and I'm about to go over those differences. So hear me closely. Okay. And with AWS, for those of you pursuing your AWS certifications, right? Um, the thing with AWS, if you're going to go into AWS, you're going to start building your career out of AWS. Also, notice, let me one more preference. Just because you start in one cloud provider doesn't mean you're going to end up in that cloud provider. I started off in AWS when I got my first cloud engineer role. It was a cloud engineer support role, technically. And I studied. I had my AWS cloud practitioner certification. I did cloud projects out of AWS. I actually never Azure actually really didn't quite launch fully yet until it wasn't on the marketplace available for us to do projects and stuff on, for the average person to do projects and stuff on, until when I was like in the middle of my role. So I started off doing AWS. However, when I got on my job, I was doing supporting AWS, and then gradually, like maybe 3 months later, 4 months later, we were also sort of supporting Azure, client side of Azure. So we were working in both. I literally was working in both, had to support both. So I had to learn it on the fly. And then when I landed in my the job I had last year, I it was a primarily a Google Cloud shop. Now they knew I didn't have much Google Cloud experience. And that's the thing about too. Don't be afraid that employers won't choose you because you don't have Google Cloud. You don't have a specific cloud provider that they may be looking for, even on the job board itself or whatever. Um, because you don't have that specific cloud provider as your experience. As long as you have cloud experience and cloud projects on your resume, those engineers are good enough to know that, especially the hiring managers stuff, are good enough to know that, okay, these are transferable skills. If you know AWS cloud, then you can easily pick up Google Cloud, because in most cases, if they're looking to hire you anyway, then they're likely looking to help with migration or with the optimization of building out. Like they're still kind of in the elementary, the baby crawl stages of in that specific cloud provider. If that makes sense to you so far. So they're not going to bring you on, or if they are, it might be mature, but they're going to have people that's going to train you up. So you're not going to get hit with I say all that to say you're not going to get hit just because you start off in one cloud provider doesn't mean you're going to get hit with out of nowhere to automatically be a SME in a different cloud provider, unless they're asking for a SME in that role. But in most cases, if they're looking for a SME, they're going to hire a SME. They're not going to hire somebody who's different cloud provider. But other than that, they're going to hire somebody who's a different cloud provider because they need bodies in the seat. They need skilled cloud professionals. All right, no matter the platform. So you're not going to face some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Some type of um uh what is it? It starts with a D, but um uh I don't know. I can't think of the word right now. It might be the alcohol already. But you're not going to face, they're not going to, kick you out, get rid of your resume, what have you, because you don't know the cloud they're working on. If you know cloud, they're going to be like, oh, you know cloud, generally. So, and most of us going to boil down to your interview skills anyway. That's another talk. Tech at night. So, yeah. So there's no wrong, choosing the wrong. You can start in one and end up in another, and you can still qualify for other roles, for other cloud provider for other jobs, even though they're putting a job board out there for a different specific cloud provider. Again, I worked in all three, literally. Even today I work in both, primarily AWS, but um, I support Azure as well. I do some small stuff out of Azure. I'm actually trying to brush myself up on increasing my Azure skills now. But yeah, so did all of that make sense to y'all so far? I want to make sure I'm not losing y'all. That camera from Timu. That was funny. All right, I'm gonna get your ass for that. I'm gonna get your ass for that. One day I'm gonna have you on camera. We're gonna get you for that. All right. So, okay, so all right, so with that being said, so here's the difference between the three. And you need to pick based on that, based on these differences. So if you're a person who for we're gonna do AWS for starters. If you're a person who wants to work for a big corporation, we're talking about like a Fortune 500 company, right? um, or a company comparable of that magnitude, whether that's in America or outside of America. And I'm gonna touch on the global thing um, shortly too. So AWS is your best shot at working in a corporate enterprise company because most of them have adopted some AWS technology, or at least started off in the cloud with AWS. And the reason for it is because one, AWS was technically the first company of that scale to hit the cloud market and provide their services. And it's the most mature cloud company out there. Like the depth and amount of services that AWS offers is unbeatable. If anybody who has a study for any AWS certification, compared to Azure and the Google Cloud, like if you study other certifications for other cloud platforms, you'll easily know that AWS has like over 160 something services, while Azure probably has like 62, 32. Google Cloud, even less, right? So that's one. So there's just know that all right, if you want to go play with the big boys and the private companies, I mean, big companies out there, um, AWS is the route for you. Just expect a little bit longer of a learning curve because unlike Microsoft and Google Cloud, there's no software that you've been using outside of shopping on Amazon. That's an adopted software that you're accustomed to using. So everything is practically going to be new to you. The explanation, their jargon, their words for everything, terms for everything is practically going to be new for you. Very learnable. You can learn this stuff. A lot of the trainings out there are digestible for a person who has zero tech knowledge. But just know that yeah, it's going to be a learning curve, and that's fine. All right. Um, the thing about it also with AWS is it just has an expansive global network. Like it's huge around the world as far as offering um, uh, networks to large corporations that are just more trusted and heavily reliable. So they're less likely to even if they go down because of the reliability factors of having such an expensive network. They have data centers that back up data centers that back up data centers, you know, globally. So also another, it's funny, talked about all those services because talking to my bro yesterday, like again, this goes back to all these cloud providers that are saying to provide just about the same services. AWS just has found a way because again, it's so mature in the cloud market to break up that delivery line pipeline into small pieces that they can charge clients for each component of it. That's why they have so many services. They know how to break down like in Azure, it might just be one function to do one thing, one service that does one thing. Well, AWS has the same service but broken down into 4 to 5 different pieces and charging you for the compute uses of each. But yeah, so the reliability of AWS is great. And so if you're a person that lives outside the states, shout out to Yusuf. Yusuf, I don't think I see Yusuf get on tonight. Um, um, but yeah, if you're working outside the states, if you're a person wants to work remote, you want to travel a lot because you're living overseas or whatever, or you live overseas, AWS would be a prominent choice because it's the cloud father, and again, that because of that global reach and that global network, um, it's the top dog. A lot of companies overseas are starting to use the cloud are using AWS. I will say in England, I think there's a cloud company called Ionos or something like that. When I was over there working in Germany, that was like one of their main cloud providers. But anyway, um, yeah, AWS is good around the world. So if you're learning overseas, start with AWS. They just have the most of everything. They have the most education, as far as like they always have these training centers set up around the world. It's more so to really they disguise it as, they're trying to help people build skills about cloud technology and whatever, but it's all just to sell their product. It's further expansion of the brand, setting up in markets that they normally wouldn't capture, um, and trying to attract those businesses to put their web apps and such on their cloud platform. So um, that's AWS engineers make the most money on average. Cloud engineers coming out of AWS make 140. I think like just a year ago, the average wage for cloud engineers for AWS was like 130. So they're the top dogs in that point. Now I get it. Now you're probably saying, "Oh, I want to make the most money. Oh, there's the biggest company. I want to go after it." Well, here's the thing. They're also the most competitive. Just being black and white with you, meaning you're competing with people from around the world um, for that has these AWS skills as well. In a lot of ways, you're those skills, can always be a question. That's another topic as well. But you're competing with a larger market of folks who have AWS. That doesn't. There's still AWS cloud engineers and AWS cloud professionals getting hired every week around the world. Probably every few days around the world, but at least every week here in the States. So don't think, oh, because it's oversaturated. No, we're far from oversaturation, super far. Um, we still don't even have enough cloud adoption yet for it to be an oversaturated thing. And most people are not cloud trained. And then for those who do have certifications, you still got to count that half of them don't actually know how to build anything in the cloud. For some reason, they might be great test takers, great at memorization of terms, and maybe use some, hey, I can help you pass your certification exam, message, those books, you know what I'm saying, using those to pass those certs or whatever, cheat sheets or whatever. But yeah, uh, don't ever think, oh, it's oversaturated, I shouldn't do AWS. No, but just be prepared. You're trying to compete with the top of the top. All right, for in AWS. So when you get in here, you gotta definitely do your projects. Doing your cloud projects in AWS is pivotal because you're going to come across a lot of engineers in the interviews who've been doing AWS for a while, so they have a lot of knowledge about it, deep knowledge. So they'll be able to sniff out where you are, if you're frauding or not. More likely with AWS. So that's AWS for you AWS junkies out there. We cool. We cool on AWS so far. Can we move on to Azure? Can we move on to Azure? I hope I ain't talking to myself, y'all. Y'all hear me? Trying to get a check out of y'all. A mic check. Oh, okay. All right. Well, say something, goddamn. Talking to my damn self now. Imagine doing this and having to talk to a screen that you can't even see yourself, and then you're not even seeing the comments flow, and then you ask to check it. You're like, oh shit. All right. Good to hear. All right. So let's move on to Azure. Smoking and listen. All right, Chris. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hopefully it's a stogie, you know what I'm saying? Or it's that good green stuff. but I always respect the smoke as long as it ain't crack. You hear me? All right. So that's Azure. I mean, that's AWS. So going into Azure, so you got all your info you need to know if you want to go into AWS. All right. Again, exact cloud careers. You can be a cloud network engineer. You can be a cloud engineer. You can be a cloud infrastructure, cloud administration. You can do cloud database. You can do AI, whatever, all in AWS. And as you can do it all in Azure, you can do it all in Google Cloud. So here's the thing with Microsoft Azure, and we kind of talked about this last week, where I said, all I'm missing is a mic. I need to get a mic. I really feel like I'm recording a podcast right now. All right. With Microsoft Azure, so Microsoft Azure has the second largest share of the cloud market. All right. So there's not, and we talked about this last week in the videos. We kind of talked about it before either way. Azure, there's not a lot, there's a deficit of Azure cloud engineers out there. Like there's quite a few cloud security architects out there out of Azure, and then there's those Microsoft Teams 365 certification holders out there, those lower tier semi-cloud certifications out there at Azure, but there's not a lot of Azure cloud engineers out there. All right. That's not that 104 administrator certification. There's not a lot of those holders out there. There's not a lot of people who work out of Azure as Azure cloud engineers, as far as like pursuing these job opportunities. So what a lot of companies have to do is they have to migrate AWS and Google Cloud engineers to work on their Azure projects. And we learn up as we're building, because again, it's hard to find Azure cloud engineers out there. It's just really hard. Even though, I will say that I like to say that Microsoft Azure cloud engineer opportunities out there in specific are vast, vast. Like you can get in there and have a dead on advantage if you get your cert and you get your projects under you. So a little bit about it. See, Azure is great for hybrid cloud environments. And the reason so is because of Active Directory. All right. Your AD server. It integrates well with companies who have hybrid setup, where they have some servers still on premise and some adoption of the cloud. All right. For various reasons, it can be because they want to remain cloud native. They don't want to be vendor locked in, or they just don't completely trust the cloud yet, and they're still trying to wait it out. Security reasons. They probably don't trust the cloud wholly because they don't own it, and so they want to kind of retain some of their primary prod servers on deck, in-house, keep that in-house. So a lot of hybrid environments use Microsoft Azure. So you're not going to find a lot of full load tech companies like front end, like really innovative tech companies. They're not going to have Microsoft Azure. They're likely going to have AWS and or Google Cloud, especially like a lot of telecom based companies, like a lot of telehealth companies, because again, and these are innovative companies. Even companies like Netflix or I can't think of any more off the top of my head. Facebook has like their own little thing, but even initially Facebook, like I can't think off the top of my head, but just think of any tech forward company. They're not utilizing uh, Microsoft Azure like that, because they're too innovative and too fast forward, that they don't have the time to. They just don't have a hybrid setup. You know, it's costing them too much money to keep servers on the ground. That they rather just have everything migrated already in the cloud. So usually when you just know that when you're going the AWS route, you're likely going to be working with technology mature companies. When you go to Azure route, you're going to kind of be working with a blue collarish company. So these are companies that's probably been legacy companies that's been around for a long time, but slow to technology. Like they've adopted technology because of the business friendly aspects of it, but they haven't fully adopted technology as being their company being a tech forward first company. So get ready for that. And these are companies also that are just for super like they're already invested in Microsoft's um software ecosystem. Like they're already using 365, they're already using Excel, they're already using Word and all those things, Gmail, etc. Well, not Gmail, but Word and etc. And so it's easier for them to just transition those applications through their virtual machines just by using Microsoft Azure. It's just an easier adoption for them. It's like saying, why would you um, why would you get a iPhone if all your electronics are non iPhone electronics, or if or it would make sense for somebody to get an iPhone if they have Apple electronics already, like Apple headsets, Apple watch, etc. But if you have like a third party watch or third party earpiece or whatever, it's easier to adapt to what you're already familiar with. And so that's what you're going to find in Azure. So that's why you find a lot of government agencies using Azure. I know it's a big thing. People say, they kind of get caught up in. And I kind of rule of thumb is if you're prior military and you plan to work within the government, Azure is a safe bet, and it still is. But just know that there's non-military, non-federal companies, non-state companies, like private companies that work out of Microsoft Azure. So just be understand that they're slower to adopt technologies. So, but the opportunities are still vast. The pay is still high for Azure cloud engineers as well. I would say probably the opportunities, the job open is probably a lot. You probably get a lot faster responses from Azure cloud engineer, in particular opportunities than the other cloud providers because it's not that many cloud Azure people out there. Um, but again, not bad because on average they're making 135 as a cloud engineer coming out of Azure. So, but yeah, that's Azure. Azure has definitely more um, hashes. Oh, okay. All right. I ain't heard hash since high school. They told us that was bad for us. All right. But do you think Netflix uses AWS? They started off using AWS when AWS came about. They use AWS, I wouldn't say at least up until 2021, 2022. But slowly but surely, I think they've started to um, diversify their servers usage. So I think you can, I mean, we can easily Google it and look it up, but um, from my knowledge, they definitely use AWS as a primary, but I think they also have their own cloud technology. That's what a lot of these companies are, not a lot, but again, Netflix is a one of one. Like these are enterprise level tech companies. When y'all hear about FANG and big FANG companies, just think of those. Most cases, unless you work for those FANG companies, most of the things that they do, you're not going to touch or do within probably 10 or 15 years because they're that far advanced ahead of most companies. Most companies are not that tech ahead. So Netflix probably built their own servers, to be honest with you, but it's still a cloud. It's still in a cloud architect type, but it's probably more cloud native. So, but they still use AWS. They utilize AWS. I'm sure of. They might actually use some Google Cloud stuff, especially for a lot of the machine learning AI stuff. Probably AI tools they're trying to develop, which we're going to talk about in a second when it comes to Google Cloud. So just get ready with Microsoft Azure. You're not really doing nothing too flashy, to be honest with you. The projects aren't going to be flashy because the work type when you get into the field, working with a Microsoft Azure isn't going to be flashy. Like it's really a blue collar cloud platform. That's what I call it. I mean, it is technically blue, the logo, but the brand colors of it all. But yeah, yeah. So just know that companies using already invested in Microsoft. That's why it's great to learn 360. That's why they have the 360 certification available under Azure. That's why it's best to learn about subscriptions. That's why it's best to learn about Active Directory and Microsoft Intra. So yeah. So hopefully that helps for my Azure folks. All right. So, but yeah, you'll find a lot of people who are usually pursuing Azure certifications are usually trying to work within the feds or increase their pay or career title within the feds or the company that they work for, or they're just trying to be a SME because again, there's not a lot of Azure SMEs out there. If I could push my students even more towards Azure, I really would. But knowing the journey ahead of them, I always play the safer bet than the riskier one, because it takes a little bit more grit and maneuverability coming out of Azure. So still great, still lucrative, averaging 135. That's good ass money. All right. So, all right. So we ready to move on to Google Cloud? That's cool about we good on Azure. We ready to move to Azure Google Cloud? Okay, cool. All right. Say yes. All right. All right. So, man, I feel like this was probably way before y'all time. I was always a history buff, but I feel like FDR when he used to talk to the citizens of the country during World War II. He used to do these radio talks back in the day at night. I think he did it once every week or once or every night during the weekday. Um, he used to do these talks and just talk to the country about the state of affairs, what's going on. It was pretty cool. So that's what I feel like right now. This is interesting. It's an interesting twist from the video. I'm telling you, when you record, things are a lot more silent when you can't react to yourself off of the video and you're just talking into literally like a mic. And y'all already, it's not like y'all I got y'all live and on as well. But you know what? I'm gonna start bringing y'all on too. So that's what we're gonna do next week. Next week, Fur Baby, First Class. I want some of my folks who are studying this stuff, who are doing the projects. I want to start having y'all co-host on here. So it takes some work off my vocal cords, and people also get to hear from those who are where they are in the journey. So if y'all open to that, y'all cool with that. Um, we're gonna do that next week as well. Let me know. Send me an email info at Cloud Engineers, and I'll make sure y'all get a link to come on stage. So I just want to throw that out there. So all right, it's because y'all been around the longest anyway. Y'all been the main supporter since damn near day one. So and Miss Jones, you welcome to that offer too, and Yusuf. All right, so moving on, Google Cloud. All right, Google Cloud platform. So this is the new kid on the block, right? Well, I mean, technically, the newest kid is Oracle Cloud, and we're gonna get in. I'm gonna get in and say that one for last. So Google Cloud has the third highest share. I think they have about 10% of the market. Like Azure has 20%, AWS has 30% of the cloud market. Um, Google Cloud, but again, 10%. So Google Cloud, the thing about it is that Google Cloud is actually fairly easy to learn because the services are just simplified. Fairly easy to learn from a cloud engineering perspective. And I would say even from a cloud architect perspective, because I was a cloud architect working out of Google Cloud as our primary cloud platform. The thing about Google Cloud is you probably use the command line within the console a lot more than you would in Azure or AWS. So keep that in mind. Even when you're doing the skills boost that Google Cloud offers, a lot of the changes that you're going to make to your projects are going to be within that command line in the terminal, in the terminal within the console. So even though you're clicking through stuff, like you're still going to be using that console a lot to make certain changes, especially when you start dealing with containers. Um, but it's cool though. It's cool. It's fun. It's cool. I think Google Cloud is cool. I'm gonna get to my personal digs a little bit later, but Google Cloud is really cool. The thing about it is it's really known for um, it's really popular, really popularized and known for small businesses And because again, using their Gmail ladder, their Gmail and their Gmail workspace adoption, similar to Azure, when I told you that a lot of blue collar companies are already in Microsoft and Microsoft ecosystem. Azure with Google Cloud, a lot of small businesses are already in their ecosystem by utilizing things like Gmail, Gmail Workspace, Google Workspace. So that's one. And then two, and just because I say small business, don't think of something like the local liquor store. All right, a small business I think is anything considered between I think 200 or less employees, something like that. So, and that's employees. That doesn't even count contractors. A company can have like 200 employees and damn near 500 contractors, all right, but still qualifies as a small business, probably for back end reasons to easier for them to take advantage of small business benefits, but and grants anyway. And also for you AI folks, for you AI machine learning folks, and for you data engineer folks, people who want to get into data engineering, want to get heavy into machine learning. Let's just even take AI to pitch because it's all of it's artificial intelligence. At the end of the day, a microwave is AI, is artificial intelligence. All right. Um, so for you data folks who want to get into data engineering, want to get into SQL heavy, want to get into machine learning heavy, that's where you find your pocket in Google Cloud because Google Cloud is strongest in that area due to the big query services that it offers. I think the other one's called Big Table that it offers as well. And it just gives you so many live stream like it right now metrics that are heavily relied upon when it comes to data engineers for curating data. And being able to do everything from manipulate the data to adjusting the cost of the data on a like right on a millisecond, on a dime. Um, IoT, Internet of Things. That's all Google Shop thing. That's Google Cloud's niche. That's what they got. AWS beat and Azure beat just because of their insight. And it's more so because Google itself, the search engine has collected so much data on users for a long amount of time and deep data, especially with Google Cloud Maps and stuff like this. The tools most of us use on a daily basis. They've collected so much deep data. They've trained their software and their staff on how to use this data deeply and instantly, and human behavior. It converted over to how their Google Cloud platform behaves. So, yeah, if you want to start getting into AI and machine learning, really, which really the backbone of the backbone of it is really machine learning. If you want to get into that, if you want to get into data engineering, cloud data engineering, cloud machine learning, or just general machine learning, Google Cloud is your baby. You need to be building nothing but cloud projects, data project, how to transform data with data flow, data proc, in Google Cloud. All right. Um, um, it also is I mean that's basically it. To be honest with you, that's like there's nothing else that's really where it has the competitive advantage over the others. You might have some like a lot of the newer companies. You'll see a lot of startups that have Google Cloud. Like I remember when I was a couple years ago, probably like 2.5 years ago. I want to say like 2.5 years, 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, maybe 2 years ago. Anyway, I got offered a job. And the thing about Google Cloud, people who are hiring for Google Cloud engineers, um, or Google Cloud pros, even security engineers, is they're very forgiving if you don't have Google Cloud as your first. Like they'll tell you, even the recruiter will tell you. That's the difference between AWS and Azure. AWS and Azure recruiters, people who are looking for engineers in those areas, they're kind of like stickler about now you need to know Azure, you need to know AWS. Um, Google Cloud, they'd be like, look, you don't need to have even touched Google Cloud before. Just a willingness to learn. You're going to hear that a lot from a lot of recruiters because they understand how small of a market Google Cloud Platform is, which means how even smaller of a talent pool they have to pull from. But if you're, let's say, if you're willing to learn Google Cloud, or if you're willing to get a get certified in it while working for us, we would love to have you. You already have these other cloud skills, and they're just transferable. I remember one company that was going to hire me, a startup, and I turned them down because I had so many other more lucrative and interesting offers. They were going to hire me as a with their startup as a Google Cloud security engineer, and I didn't have the Google. I didn't even have any in security engineers certification, and so they were going to bring me on. It was like, you just need to have a willingness to want to learn Google Cloud security. I was like, word. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. So, but I ended up not taking the opportunity, and it was a startup, and they were paying really good money. And that's the thing about it too. When you're a small niche company like this, they pay a lot. Like you can make really. Last year, the Google, and I was so disappointed at myself for a minute. I had to pick myself up because last year, I failed the Google Solutions Architect Professional certification twice, and that was the highest paying salary certification last year. That was the highest paying certification last year. And the reason for it is because it's niche. Again, now you're starting to get into a niche area with Google Cloud and with Oracle Cloud. So it's a premium. They have to pay for that talent. Am I making sense so far, y'all? Am I making sense? Yes, no, maybe, sort of. I'm actually kind of surprised y'all sticking around by just hearing my voice. I really respect that. I really, really do respect that. I appreciate that for real. Because I would have thought most of y'all, like, but four would have stayed on. But we all still rocking. All right, Sean. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate that. All right, cool, cool, cool. Fire babies. All right. So with Google Cloud, yeah, with Google Cloud, they actually pay the highest for cloud engineers. So with AWS Cloud Engineer, they're paying 140 on average. With Azure Cloud Engineer, they're paying 130 on average. So with Google Cloud, they're actually paying on average about 147, right? So what do these numbers mean? What do these 130, 140 mean? Y'all like, well, can I realistically walk in and get that job, that amount of money for my first cloud engineering role? No, absolutely not. But it's a great market because the more the average make, that means the lower and entry level that are coming up, their pay gets bumped up. So if you're coming in, and we talked about this before, we're probably gonna have to do a whole tech at night on this. But if you're coming in as a cloud engineer with zero experience, like you used to work for just a magazine company, and the only thing you were like you used to dress up the acts, the talent, you like a set designer or stage designer or artist designer or something like that, and you come straight in with zero experience, and you just got your projects and search, you could probably expect in your first cloud engineer role to make about 80 to 87. All right. Now I would say you shouldn't accept, for a cloud engineer role, you shouldn't accept anything beneath 70. All right. You don't want to accept anything 70 for a cloud engineer role. Now, there are cloud support engineer roles out there, which is more so the call center of basically of cloud engineers. Now that pay is going to be a little bit low. They might come in and try and say, look, we're going to start you off about they'll probably say like, they'll probably try to hit you with like 60 to 80. Right. Which, and if you might look at it like, well, look, that's going to give me some experience. So I'll do that for a couple months, 6 months to a year, and then move on to my next role. And then boom, your next role you're gonna be close to six figures. You probably ain't gonna make six figures in the cloud field until your third job. And it don't take 3 years, just to be honest with you, to get there. And it's not all about the how much money you make. It's all about how much money, how well you manage your money. All right, because you can make six figures, and when you spend six figures, you back broke. All right. So don't think about, oh, I need to hit the six-figure mark. It means something personal. Trust me, it's not as enjoyable as you think, especially when the tax man come along. Find your finances is important. You can make 70, 80. I know people make their careers between the 80, 90 mark and have a great nest egg set away because they just practice financial discipline. more so than a lot of six-figure persons I know who just blow through bread. And when they lose their job or get laid off, it's the end of their world because their expenses are still six-figure. So they about to be damn near homeless again. So yeah, so that's all three cloud providers. From my perspective, of course, we also, man, I appreciate that, Christian, man. I really appreciate that. Oh man, that was dope. I appreciate that. Um, um, I was gonna share my opinion on my personal. Let me see. What do you think about cloud security roles? Cloud security roles are gonna rise, man. I'm glad. That's a great question, actually. Um, and I know I've had two security persons come on. I got some more cloud people I plan to bring on outside of security. Um, but I do want to bring another security person on probably around I'll probably do it around I don't know. I'll probably do it around spring or something. But cloud security is here to not only stay but grow. Like there's tremendous growth with cloud security. The thing about it is when it comes to cloud security is that you just need to, again, don't most people get caught up in this cybersecurity thing, and they get caught up on all the low hanging fruit security jobs, I like to say. The security jobs that aren't engineering level jobs, like you're not configuring any tech stacks um, with cloud security, with security monitoring tools. Like somebody brought it up Azure Centennial earlier. I actually had one of my students do a Azure Centennial project. She did a great job on it, but it took her like almost a month to do it. But that was still highly impressive for somebody who had no experience in this area. Um, but those are the kind of cool things cloud security engineers get to do. They get to implement third-party products. They get to do all the monitorization, set up the logs, set up the policies, have important crucial meetings. Like that's the cool stuff. And they get paid very well. Cloud security engineers make really good money. You can come in the door making about 80 as a cloud security engineer, and that's on the low end. They make really good money, especially with all these cyber attacks going on. The business need for more cloud security engineers are probably higher than security engineers have ever been hired before for since computers have been invented. Um, Especially we haven't even entered the age of AI um, cyber attacks. Um, but yeah, cloud security, high job growth and high job security in those areas. So I was reading a report the other day that was like cloud security engineers going to see expected increase of their job growth of 115% between I think it was well, I forgot what year it started, but I know the growth date was up until 2025. Um, that's a lot. That's next year, basically. 150. That's 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 a lot. 115% is a lot of job growth. That's just cloud security engine. And then about thing about cloud security engineers is you can kind of focus on a few key area, which is IAM security, which is another huge specialty. If you can get really good, like right now, Walmart's hiring for an IAM security engineer. I actually interviewed for that. I think for that role a couple months ago before they figured it out. Um, to make it into an IAM specialist role. That's the thing about these. Again, this cloud, all this stuff is so new. These companies don't know how to name this stuff. So you're more qualified than you believe. That's why I say always apply and let them do their job of disqualifying you. Because a job may sound like it's out of your reach and out of your touch, but you're actually way more qualified because they probably misnamed the job or they mislabeled it or they added objectives to that job board that shouldn't have been there in the first place because they didn't know. They're just going off of Google. Their HR persons aren't in the weeds doing this tech stuff. So, but yeah, cloud security is huge. The thing about getting into cloud security, you just have to really be persistent. Like you need to really be applying for at least 6 to 8 roles. Um, uh, I would say a day. But I know most people come up with all type of reasons why they can't, which is justifiable. But at least 6 to 8 roles a week, and you have to be on your projects. You need to be posting about your freaking projects that you're doing. People love hearing from cloud security engineers on LinkedIn because we rarely hear from them. Like we hear from cybersecurity folks, and cybersecurity does fall like it's cloud security. Don't get me wrong; it falls under cybersecurity. It does fall under that umbrella. At the same time, the responsibilities of narrowing in on a cloud security engineer, you can get trapped in the lower roles of security engineer. Um, if you don't narrow your search down or your training down on cloud security specifically. So, but yeah, you can do. People love hearing from them on LinkedIn, and here's why I bring it up is because it attracts money, it attracts opportunities. Some people are going to reach out to you, say, "Hey, we got this cloud role open." It might even be called a cloud role, it might be called security something, and but it's a cloud role, but it's just not called cloud security. It might be called security or something, or some type of analyst or whatever, some type of logging tracker or whatever, logging engineer, security engineer, some sort. But yeah, cloud security, man, it's really really lucrative, and it's a great skill to have, especially when you get that Azure Architect certification. But you have to get the 104, and then I forgot the other cert combined. To get it, you have to get about two certs to get that, to be qualified as a, like Microsoft will literally say, okay, you have these two certs. Now you're a Azure Cloud Security Architect. I had one of my bros get that, man, and it took his career to the next level immediately. So, all right, so let's all right, so let me get to answering y'all some of y'all questions before I get off here. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me an hour in, man. An hour in, no video. This is crazy. Let me take a picture of this, man. This is so dope. All right. So let me answer some of these questions before we get out of here. Um, how do you find cloud support roles, like keywords to search for? Keywords to search for are cloud support engineers, cloud operation engineers, support analysts. Honestly, you would type it into Google and be like, what are the alternative names for cloud support engineers or cloud support roles? What are the alt names? Hell, enter it into Chat GPT. It'll spit them all out for you. But yeah, cloud operations engineer, response engineer, um, cloud analyst. Um, yeah, those are just about it off the top of my head. But yeah, you can find those type of roles, everywhere on Indeed. But yeah, I think Home Depot was even looking for those um a couple weeks ago. Let me see. Mint tea. All right, man. We're gonna have to y'all gonna start next week. Y'all about to spike it. I tell you this much for first class and Fur Baby and Miss Jones. When you get on, when y'all get on the stage, y'all better have spiked that drink with a little something, something. I ain't gonna be the only sober one on stage. All right. Pushing towards cloud security. Good. Yeah, just stay the fight, man. Cloud security is gonna pay off. Get your cert. I don't know where you at now, first class, but we're gonna talk about it when y'all get on the stage next week. But push, man. Like that's so lucrative, especially if you mess around and get that become a cloud, get your cloud security architect cert. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's in or our security professional certification, man. They can go so many ways with cloud security. So many routes with cloud security. Again, IAM, you can go networking. A lot of people don't know networking is considered security. It's in the realm of security. Networking, logging, uh, compliance. Um, yeah, that's just about it. That's four big ones. Um, and then cloud security itself. We're dealing with WAFs, firewalls. Um, yeah, but yeah, networking is security, because you're dealing with what you're allowing in and allowing out, which is security. Even though you're dealing with like again, security groups and NACLs and VPCs and stuff like that. So let's see what else we got. What are the best places to find these project ideas? You know what I found to be a gold mine of projects, and it just takes a little patience. Is Medium. Now it also takes $5. You gotta pay $5 a month. But Medium is actually a great place to find cloud projects of all kinds, actually. All kinds. Like I've did all type of search engines through there. And I'm actually working on two that I found out of Medium. This one specifically, what is I got it open now? Deploying SQL Azure migration project with Azure database migration service, because I'm trying to work on my Azure migration skills. But yeah, Azure, Medium. That's it. That's the answer. Go to Medium, pay the $5 a month. It's totally worth it. Totally freaking worth it. And just grind it out doing them projects, man. Find good projects and grind them out. So and also you can find links to those in my blueprint, which is on my website, bcloudengineers.com. And you can go under the BC Cloud Engineer Bootcamp. You're going to see the tab for the Cloud Quest. Cloud Quest blueprint that launches your tech career from zero to cloud hero. All right. That's my ad of the day. And I'm going to put that link to get that blueprint in the chat so that y'all have that. Blueprint. There we go. All right. So let me see what else. What other questions we got? He said, I want to work remote in Brazil. I hear that, brother. I freaking hear that, man. I want to go to Brazil. That's on my bucket dream list to go. And especially when they say you gotta have $2,000 to get in. That means I ain't gonna be when I get there, and there ain't gonna be a lot of people who shouldn't even be there in the first place. Man. So I actually be in Costa Rica in March for my birthday. So if y'all gonna be on that side of town, that side of the world, holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Send me a cigar and a drink. You can even create custom GTP to find jobs. Yeah, you can. Yeah, ChatGPT I use it every day. So, yeah, we talked about this before. I know I keep saying we talked about, because we have, so we talk about a lot. I talk about a lot because I'm really invested in this stuff and learning the business of tech, especially cloud tech. But yeah, you can do so much with ChatGPT, especially when you pay the $20 membership. I think with Google Bars as well, even though I think they're relaunching it as Gemini or something like that. Or Microsoft might be launching it as Gemini project. I think Google Cloud has Bard. But yeah, these AI tools are great. They're great search engine tools, man. They're great customization tools, great document tools. So yeah, solid document tools. But yeah, you can yeah, that's good. Helmet. Yeah, March 1st. That's my birthday, man. You know what I'm saying? Going to wifey already gave me a permission slip to be able to go to Costa Rica. Hope the food is good. Y'all know me. I'm gonna hit a cigar farm. Whew, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna try to come back with a whole tobacco leaf, a big old leaf. But yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning on. Again, I want to try to get some of y'all on the stage next week. So First Class hit me. Christian hit me via email, and Fur Baby hit me, and Miss Jones hit me via email. So we all make this a learning environment for, to share with others who are in the journey exactly where you are. Aside from just me talking all the time, or for me just having experts on here who are senior in their career talking all the time. Looking back, I want people to be able to see people in actual action of doing these things. And then we can look back, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, you're in the field doing your thing, and damn, it's like we seen the transition live happening. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be a part of y'all story as much as y'all are from mine. So, all right, cool. Costa Rica in March. Yes, sir. Cordies. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. So let me go have dinner with my wife before she put her foot in my neck. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all. If you are new to the industry and You want to know where to get started without all the headache and the hassle, without having to Google your way through it. Get my blueprint. It's available on bcloudengineers.com. Career Blueprint, Cloud Quest. Launch your tech career. Go from zero to hero. It's there for you. You have any extra questions, shoot me an email, info@bcloudengineers.com. Bootcamp is closed. We're not opening it up again till April. So that's that. But I'm super excited with my and super inspired by my cloud engineering, cloud security engineer students. We're having a learning time of our lives. Man, they just make me so proud. They completed their They're working on their second projects now. They completed their Linux project. Most of them are starting on their first cloud project, and then we got some even starting on their second. So, and shout out to Jennifer, our cloud security senior architect that's on our team. That's our mentor for our camp, and Tiffany, our tech career resume wizard, who's also on our team for our boot camp. So, all right, man, I'm out of here, man. Y'all have a great night. Remember, you had what it took the entire time. All right, y'all. And my camera gonna work next week, I promise.